Hey everyone, before we dive into today's main topic, I need to address something important directly with you guys. In my last video, I firmly stated that reports of an Indian Rafale fighter jet being shot down by a Pakistani J-10CE were completely fake news. However, after the video went live, viewers from our community flooded the comments to correct me. Even though the specifics of the data varied, the consensus was clear. My conclusion that it was fake news was actually a mistake on my part. So I went back to the drawing board. If you do a basic Google search, you'll see results claiming the Rafale J-10 story is fake. I've put a screenshot up on the screen right now. But that's exactly why surface-level searches can be unreliable in these situations. I dug deeper into Tier 1 global intelligence sources, including CNN, AP, and Reuters. It turns out your corrections were spot on. There is substantial, credible confirmation that a Rafale was actually shot down. I sincerely apologize to all of you for jumping the gun and presenting inaccurate information. I also want to give a massive thank you to everyone who commented. Your input helps make this channel stronger, and it proves how deeply engaged you guys really are with the content. This whole situation highlighted something incredibly dangerous about the India-Pakistan conflict of May 2025, something just as complex and lethal as the missiles themselves: information warfare. Today, we're going to cut through the noise and find the truth. Right after the first shots were fired, the propaganda machines on all sides went into overdrive. Both India and Pakistan unleashed every cyber tactic in the playbook. We saw highly realistic combat footage generated by AI, and tens of thousands of fake social media accounts deployed to push their respective narratives at lightning speed. The story of a top-tier Western Rafale being downed by a Chinese PL-15 missile from a J-10C was prime ammunition for this information war. Facts were blended with fiction. Blurry, unverified satellite images were circulated alongside quotes from non-existent insider sources. Fueled by public panic, the disinformation spread like wildfire, creating absolute chaos for audiences around the world. To really understand this, let's look at a deep dive assessment of the casualties from both sides. When you put their claims side by side, the numbers violently clash depending on who you listen to. I've put together a summary table to decode this information warfare for you right here. If we break down this data line by line, the underlying political games are glaringly obvious. Let's start with the Pakistani military. They went on national media to declare an absolute victory, claiming they swatted 6 Indian jets out of the sky, deliberately emphasizing that 4 were top-tier Rafales. They also claimed to have destroyed nearly 100 drones and 2 S-400 anti-aircraft systems. The motive behind these inflated numbers is crystal clear: to rally domestic morale and discredit Western weaponry on the global stage. But when we flip over to the Indian military's reports, it's a completely different universe. India admitted to losing only a single Harap suicide drone and claimed their air bases suffered just superficial damage. Instead, they proudly paraded the wreckage of a Pakistani Mirage 5 and boasted about shooting down over 600 Pakistani drones. India's narrative was strictly about projecting absolute strength and shutting down rumors of their air defenses failing, preventing any nationwide panic. Now, let's get into the main highlight, the exact issue that confused me and the rest of the world, leading to today's correction video. What actually happened to the Rafale? If you followed the news early on, the Indian government was in full damage control mode, stating the jet crashed due to unknown causes. Later, backed into a corner by mounting evidence, India's top military commander conceded that they did lose an aircraft, though he still heavily denied Pakistan's exaggerated numbers. Crucially, India did not use bad weather as a scapegoat to save face. Pakistan, meanwhile, played a highly aggressive media game. They didn't just make empty claims. The Pakistani Air Force declared they possessed cockpit voice recorder, or CVR, and flight data evidence to prove the Indian jets were shot down. Claiming to hold black box level data gave their narrative massive credibility in the eyes of the public. So how did France, the creator of this world-class tech, react? This was a masterclass in crisis management.
Dassault Aviation, the manufacturer of the Rafale, opted for absolute silence. They neither confirmed nor denied the reports, refusing to comment even when pressed by major outlets like CNN. The man who finally stepped up to take the heat was General Jérôme Boulanger, the Chief of Staff of the French Air and Space Force. He straightforwardly admitted seeing evidence indicating India lost one Rafale. This marked the very first combat loss in the aircraft's history, and he made no excuses about the weather. However, the French Defense Ministry absolutely refused to tolerate Pakistan's inflated claims of downing 3 to 4 Rafales, slamming those reports as part of a massive disinformation campaign designed to sabotage France's technological reputation. Even with France acknowledging the loss, the debate over who and what shot down the Rafale is still a raging battlefield of information. The Pakistani Air Force explicitly claimed their Squadron 15, the Cobras, did the job using Chinese-made J-10C fighters equipped with PL-15 long-range missiles. This claim carries a lot of weight because U.S. intelligence officials also assessed with high confidence that a Pakistani J-10 was responsible. Plus, wreckage of a PL-15 was found on Indian soil. This development absolutely thrilled the Chinese military, prompting the commander of the PLA Air Force to fly to Pakistan immediately. He wanted to study this kill chain to see exactly how Chinese weaponry was used to take down top-tier Western jets. But India didn't back down in the media war. They tried to discredit the Chinese missiles by showcasing an unexploded dud PL-15 found on the ground. They pushed counter-theories, suggesting the Rafale might have actually been hit by Pakistan's HQ-9 surface-to-air missile system, or worse, as some analysts theorize, it could have been the result of friendly fire caused by communication breakdowns. This proves that once the actual shooting stops, the barrage of distorted information begins. Pakistan even suffered a massive embarrassment when internet sleuths caught them using heavily doctored footage from the video game Arma 3 to claim they had shot down an Indian jet. Throw in AI-generated images and fake news headlines, and you have a recipe for total chaos. Ultimately, this conflict ended with an estimated death toll of around 66 people, with reports citing 29 Indian and 53 Pakistani casualties. But the fallout goes far beyond the body count. It left diplomatic relations shattered, a historic water treaty torn to pieces, and most importantly, it established a terrifying new normal for our world. This event proved that in South Asia and globally, top-level military confrontations can ignite and escalate into full-scale war faster than ever before. This costly lesson is a wake-up call. In an era of autonomous drone swarms, grid-crippling cyber warfare, and ready-to-launch nuclear weapons, the most powerful tool for human survival isn't the latest missile. It's the restraint of our leaders and our own critical thinking when consuming media. For everyone who's watched until the end, what are your thoughts? If an escalation like this happens again in other regions, or even close to home, how should we prepare for the economic and technological fallout? If you have any new updates, drop them in the comments below. I'm always reading your feedback. And if you enjoy this kind of deep dive geopolitical analysis, please drop a like, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Today was all about setting the record straight. A huge thank you to all the commenters, local and international. I'll see you guys in the next video.